Hey YouTube. I talk about this all the time, which is unlawful. A lot of people don't believe me when I say this. We fought for this years and years ago. There are federal laws against it. There are federal laws against a lot of things. And these people continue to do them. When we talk about consumer services and supply, demand, usage, force, force, constitutional deprival, all this stuff is happening today. I tell people this all the time because Antichrist, they do not believe that the Antichrist is here. The Antichrist is people who don't believe in God. They don't believe in implementing the laws the right way. They don't believe in what the United States fought for. They don't care. And guess what? Some of them can be people that are connected to the founding creators and people, societies that are very high that were supposed to assist in helping and assisting mankind in staying lawful, staying obedient. We have so many different churches now that are antichrist. You find that shocking, right? So you going to church, you getting in your worship. And while you're getting in your worship, the person that's leading you, as well as you, may be going through predatory attacks by whatever predatory spirit that's there. We talk about this all the time. The sad part about it, we got kids. They don't put this crap into these kids. You don't know why the kid's acting out. You don't know why the kid has issue. You don't know why this kid is crying out. Kid may be being abused. You sending them to a place that's supposed to be safe for them every day. Maybe school, maybe church, maybe somewhere. And they're being preyed on by predatory spirits in that location. They can't help but to become a predator themselves. That's the sad part about it. And the cycle continues. It's vicious. These people pretend that they care about them when they don't. These people pretend that they're for them when they are not. Choose this day whom you will serve, whether it be whatever you've been serving and stuff like that, or whether you're going to serve God. There is so many different religions now that are anti-God, anti-Christ, that should be for God, but they're not. And a lot of times we're dealing with it. We're dealing with them not really wanting the 12 tribes of Israel, not really want to do what God has called for them to do. You know what I'm saying? They're not really accepting of God in no kind of way, which is like the best thing for them. But have you ever seen a person, like, you can be like, okay, this medicine will cure you and get you well. And they're looking at you like, we're not going to take the medicine because we don't believe that. And they have been programmed to believe that God's will for their lives is not really the best will, because you have this thing going on with these people who serve Lucifer, these people who serve Satan, that they feel that they're good. That's how they stay from going through or having issues. They're good because they want more sexual immorality. They want more, I can do whatever I want to do. They want more of this stuff going on, but they have not understand that it's something that's trying to sire them and rule over them. And it's pushing them to this point. We talk about it all the time, but a lot of times people don't understand. It's stuff that really begins to push you when there's an anointing on your life. How many of our children have the gift of prophecy, have the gift of speaking tongues, have the gift of sending up their healing, have the gift of renewal of spirit, soul, mind, body, and stuff like that. But these talents and these skills are not being utilized because they're in communities that are demonic. Satan worshiping communities, ungodly communities. When we talk about Satan worshiping communities, these people want you stuck somewhere, paralyzed, unable to move in your subconscious, not in a conscious state, in a subconscious state where they have control and they can sit up there and harm you, do however they want to do with you, and keep you ignorant. And the only way to actually break those strongholds is to actually trust God. And it takes a long time. When I say it's not an overnight process, because guess what? You can break all those strongholds and they're going to keep reinstating the same stronghold over and over again. And sometimes this is what happened to you when you was in your subconscious, because subconsciously, the way you live your life, you were already breaking strongholds that's connected to them. So they started planting, started inserting certain probing tubes into your brain to censor how you think, like to have control, to block your thought process and stuff like that, and to have control of your mind and body. So they sit up there, they monitor your brain interaction as they sit up there and do these sub skits in front of you, like in a dream state. It's like you're in a dream state. They're showing you you're living your life and you're not. That's why a lot of people say, I'm still standing. I'm still standing. I never failed. I never fall. You know what? I'm still standing, because they're in a schizophrenic state. And just because you're not frantic doesn't mean that you cannot be schizophrenic, because you're still dealing with them projecting images in front of you. Everywhere you go, universally, you're still dealing with certain stuff that is supposed to make you frantic, make you upset, make you out of control, that should not have that type of authority. So yes, a lot of people are schizophrenic because of what someone else is doing. And that's where the word schizophrenic came from. They're basically projecting images in front of you, watching and monitoring your interaction to those things. And every once in a while, you might get frantic, you might get upset, you might get emotional, and nobody gonna see this but you. So you're going through these states of mental issues because these people are probing your body without your permission, doing unlawful, illegal research on human beings without permission. And guess what? They are not government funded. All of this is private funding. They will lie and say governments are funding them, and this is funding them, that's funding them. No, they fund themselves through other illegal activities and some legal activities that they do. After all this is done, they'll come to you and be like, "Oh, you can join us. Why don't you join us? You gonna join your abusers? Maybe you don't have a choice. Maybe you probably is put in a forced situation and stuff like that. Sometimes we're working for our abusers every day and we don't even know it. Get up, go to work, clock in, and you work all day for your abuser. And then they talk about human trafficking, but truth be told, they know what human trafficking is. They just want to see if you woke enough to tell them that it's them. And it's real talk. Know what you're dealing with. Don't let these people fool you. And then what kills me, you have the people that is serving Satan and Lucifer, and Satan is a comatose state. That's why they try to get you to serve Satan and Lucifer, because they want you to be in a comatose state, not being able to acknowledge that you are not moving at all. You're just sitting there. That's what Satan really is. You just sitting there and someone else projecting dreams in front of your eyes. That's what we call the devil, and abusing your body. And they're not going to tell you as clear as I'm telling you, but this is really what it is. And they call it the matriarch system. And it's their art. That's they gonna say matriarch, like as if it's a boat or something or whatever, like Noah's Ark. But no, this is their craft. This is their talent. This is a trade that they use to sit up here and subdue people and make them do what they want you to do. Now, if you're smart, and I'm going to tell you something else too. If you really believe in God, they throw you in this system regardless. Like, throw you in this system, and your job is to constantly fight for God. They're not going to tell you that, because what you're fighting up against, all you're going to do is learn different demons, devils. Man, I ain't never knew some of the stuff that I learned until I actually woke up to certain stuff. Like, you're constantly fighting against certain stuff. At some point, you're going to become a ground, because you're constantly fighting against so much ungodly stuff. Like, it's ridiculous. And they throw you in that system because you believe in God. And they say, okay, well, you're enslaved because you believe in God, right? Because if you had to serve Satan and Lucifer, you wouldn't be a slave. But truth be told, Satan is you being in that same unconscious state. But only difference is you doing what you want to do. And you're going to sit there 20, 30, 40 years doing what you want to do. And you're going to wake up and realize that none of the decisions you made were yours. 30, 40 years. Just imagine, man. 40 years, these people then decide that they're going to loose you. That's what they call Lucifer. They're going to loose you and release you and say, okay, now you can make your own decisions. And you're going to have to go in another 20, 30, 40 years and tell them, look, man, I believe in God. I can't do it. I can't do it. And that's after you woke up and you was enslaved sometimes 20, 30, 40 years. Per enslavement up under them. You never prospered. Never had. You never will have. And then you finally wake up and you finally get your mind back with remembrance of all the crap that done happened to you. And how you were abused, how your body was abused, your mind, your soul, your spirit, how you went through depression because you're dating, how they actually trapped you because you thought you loved a guy or a girl. And then you finally wake up from Satan and the devil because Lucifer says, hey man, this one good, this one good already. That one ready. And as he's saying you're ready, your mind started to come back to yourself, your real mind, who you really are. You're no longer enslaved. You're no longer a slave to none of that mess. And you say, man, I wish I would. I'm going to stay with God. And guess what? Your mind ain't going to always come all the way back to you. I'm going to tell you now, it's not going to come all the way back to you. When you first start to wake up, you're like in between being on a fog and in between, like, you want to serve God, but you like, man, I don't know what this is, so you just going on your regular life. after a while, God, like, you really start to kick in, your mind start to like really boot, and you start seeing what these people really about. Be like, man, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna roll with God. And that's when your awakening really begins to happen. And then you start to get guidance, because God begins to guide you, and his people begin to guide you on what to do. Like, your kids is under demonic possession of these people still. Your family's still going through demonic possession of these people. You're going through demonic possession still of these people, because remind you, you done did 30, 40 years in sin. So you got to sit up, you got to undo all those years by just serving God. By serving God. And that's going to be the hardest thing, because you're going to go through times where you about to wake up, they going to put you back to sleep. All you feel is some torment in your body. You feel them messing with your stomach. You can't hardly eat. You throwing up everywhere because people doing something to your stomach. You're going to stay sick with colds because all you feel is them like spitting a cold in your mouth. You're gonna go through all out hell. But guess what? You were going through all that while you was in the world too. Don't let them make you think, hey man, it was great. Yeah, I ain't felt nothing. Guess what? Just because you null and void, that's what that dope and crack do to you. That's basically how they got you in that mug like a crackhead. Just because you null and void doesn't mean it's not happening. Just because you ignorant. They say ignorance is bliss. That's that bliss zone. Have you ever heard people say, man, I'm finna get this joke of this bliss? It ain't number cocaine, crack, stuff to keep you null and void. So that's the game that they play. Only difference now, when you roll with God, you know. Without a shadow of a doubt, man, I know for a fact my body's being bruised. I know for a fact that I'm being raped. You go to the hospital. Hospitals don't want to give you no rape kit. They don't want to give you nothing. They don't want to tell you if you got AIDS. They ain't gonna even tell you got AIDS. I'm gonna be real with you, because they know you ain't sexually active. So they ain't gonna even tell you. You can walk around with AIDS a million years and just spread it to people, because they're not gonna tell you got AIDS. Because you gonna know your immune system already wearing and tearing. So you got to learn how to use certain stuff over the counter, try to help your immune system out, because they ain't gonna help you out. And guess what? You might even have to go work at them same places that don't want to help you. And that's where it gets real. But they don't want to tell y'all that type of stuff. And they ain't gonna tell you how bad it really gets. You get what I'm saying? The same people abusing you, same people you got to go work for. Because a man that don't work don't eat. And you can think, okay, well, I ain't gonna work for him. I'm gonna go out here and I ain't finna work for him. You get what I'm saying? You start up your own business today or tomorrow. You got the capital, you got the money and everything. And within a couple of years, you might have to go and say, I need to make extra money. Why do you need to make extra money? I need to make extra money because of the fact that I don't have any money. And I'm running my own business. I have a car washing business, but I'm knee deep in debt. I wash cars for myself. I work for myself. Yeah, you can represent that, but where the money at? You never have no money for yourself. You never have nothing for yourself. That's the game. That's the predatorial game. Okay, checks coming in. Like I said, they love to rob the hood. We stay politician bashing, but let me tell you the truth about our politicians. Our politicians clearing checks to come to us every day. They lie. You ain't even, some of these checks you ain't even got to sign up for. Just because you an American citizen, they supposed to issue out a check almost every month. Just for the fact that you're American. Guess what? The post office is subcontracted. They subcontract out most of these post offices where we're at. That money ain't getting to you. That money going in their pocket. They talking about they got an account for you where they saving up money for when you get out and all kinds of stuff. No, they robbing you. You need that money now. You ain't gonna get it. Okay, you can be half dead. You're gonna still get up and have to go to work, half dead. I'm gonna tell you real talk. I sometimes cannot breathe. I go through like weakness and all kinds of stuff. Guess what? I still gotta get up and go to work. Sick as a dog. Whether you sick, whether you well, you're gonna still have to go to work. You're gonna still have to do the same work that everybody else do. Hope that God give you strength through all that mess, because they don't care for you. They robbing the hood anyway. So ain't no staying home, getting no Social Security, no none of that. Because half of the old people that's on the Social Security system, they trying to remove them off. Because they trying to do away with Social Security and everything. Food stamp program, they trying to do away with it. That's why they took over and subcontracted out the food stamp program. All these different places are subcontracted out. They are not really ran by the government. The government funds some of this stuff, like food stamp programs and stuff like that. It funds some of this stuff, but they're not ran by them. But guess what? With it being like that, the biggest thing they're trying to do is keep money out your hand. Why don't they want you with money? They don't want you to monopoly. They don't want you to really have money. If you have money, you will make better decisions. If you have money, you'll do things the right way, right? So you're going to have to do things the right way without money. And that's when it becomes hard. Because guess what? Certain times when you're in a pinch and a bind, this is to lure you into criminal activity so that they can boast in your face like they ain't criminals themselves. Know what you're dealing with. They get mad, they hate. It is what it is. So you're going to have to make positive decisions without anything. You're going to have to not steal, even though you're being compelled to steal. You're going to have to not steal because that's what theirs do. And the money going to have to be in front of you. So they'll put the money in front of you and see if you'll steal it. Your kids will be abused because there are stuff that's walking around us every day. This is what they call COVID. COVID is you think that you are at home, in your house, in the privacy of your own home. You ain't. You're not in the privacy of your own home. You're not where you want to be at. These people done took you out your home and they're doing that dream thing. That's what we call the devil, where they're making you think that you're home and you're not. They're making you think that you're good and you're not. And this is how they human traffic a lot of people in a subconscious state. So, and that's why these people are studying psychology. Some of them are like psychology majors, because after you get to a certain degree, they're going to start telling you about devices that you can use to control the mind and bring the mind back to the way it's supposed to be. But I'm going to tell you the truth about this situation. A lot of people use the cure for sicknesses like mental illnesses, blindness, hearing impairment. They're using a cure for that mess to sit up there and make sure you stay in your mess. So know what you're dealing with. Sometimes we're serving God for years and years and years, no rewards, no nothing. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm past 8 years in the game. They don't even want to give me credit for the 8 that I got. They're gonna keep playing with the wheels of time. That's why a lot of people you see with these Atlas wheels, and you see them with the wheel around them, they're trying to tell you they willing it. The hands of time. Like they telling you that they're powerful people. But a lot of people ain't understanding that. You're going to travel back and forth on the Atlas, changing things for yourself, for your family, for your people. But you got to be willing to do what it takes to change it. Mind you, if you coming from a family that's in poverty, on that Atlas, you can take them out of it if you given the opportunity. You got to know what you're dealing with. These people don't care for us. Serve God. The word of God cares for you. I'm going to be real with you. And I'm going to tell you how I know for a fact the word of God caring for you. You ain't got to worry about your rear end ripped. The only reason why they trying to rip your rear end is because your derriere don't do what theirs and do. So if you end up ripped, it's because you doing the right thing compared to their derriere being ripped because they made the wrong choice. They made the choice to sit up there and serve hoism. You didn't. That's not my religion. That's not my worship. I serve God. We don't believe in hoism. So they done set up they screaming, oh, I'm a pimp. But they're rapists. They're certified rapists. And those same rapists sits up there and tries to rape women and force them into hoism. And if a woman is not smart enough, or a man is not smart enough, because they don't just do this to women, they do this to women, men, and children. Mind you, a child cannot fight them back. So how many years you think that child ends up raped? They're lying saying other little children raping them, family members raping them. Family members didn't even rape the child. It's these big, grown, ungodly things trying to vamp and prey on the life source of a child, trying to become darker. Know what you're dealing with. Trust God always. Every commandment God gave you. And guess what? I always tell people, don't even follow everyone. Just follow the first 10. If you don't see a difference in your life with the first 10, it is what it is. But think about this. You've been going through either way. Because even when you were serving Satan, you ain't never had nothing. You ain't never had nothing because they ain't gonna never let you have nothing. You got to sell your soul to this mess and say, okay, I'm going to lay down for 7 years. And I'm going to force 7 more people to lay down with me. Force 7 more people. You ain't asking them. That's that lie they tell you. You're not going to ask them to lay down with you. You're going to kidnap them and force them in them people's lives to lay down with your dumb rump so that they can go through all out hell for no reason at all. Certain people sacrifice their young to this mess. So you got men that have all these kids from all these different women only to sacrifice the children so they'll lay down with them. So y'all better know what y'all dealing with and be smart. Hopefully these words encourage you. Hopefully they gave you some insight. Hopefully you can make a good decision. Oh yeah, and everything that says they serve God don't serve God. So I'm gonna give you a saying that we say. I am not Mason. I cannot be free in Mason. But I can still build for God though. Understand what that means. Hopefully these words encourage you guys. I don't have nothing against the Masonic order. I don't have nothing against the way things are done. But I can tell you, those people have been attacked for years the same way they attacked the church. So you already know they have infiltrated them, try to change the structure of things and their servitude to the country, as well as many other things. Be careful. Hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying, because there's a lot of different orders that they have infiltrated and corrupted. Know what y'all dealing with.